You know, I used to like Joe Rogan. I still like Joe Rogan. But he is a tool of the Matrix. And he's the worst kind. And I'll tell you why. Because free-thinking young men, military-age males, aren't going to listen to a podcast and have their minds changed with an ugly feminist, okay, with a fade or shaved head on her stupid podcast. We're not going to listen to that girl. We're not going to listen to some feminized looking man, some simp. So what did the Matrix do? They made a Joe Rogan. Why is Joe Rogan the worst kind of tool for the Matrix? I mean, good for the Matrix, bad for us. Because he keeps the free-thinking military-age males tamed. He keeps them thinking that they have a place, an outlet to go to with other like-minded subscribers, and Joe Rogan's like us, but he's not. And I'll tell you why. He's not a stupid man. He knows very well, and this is not a political show, but I'm going to bring up a political example just so you guys can understand how bullshit he is. It's just to prove my point about Joe Rogan, okay? That's it, but this is not a political show. Now, anyone in their right mind, any reasonable human being would know that under Trump, United States was way better than it is with Biden. That's a fact. Okay, look at the gas prices, look at the unemployment rates, just look at everything. Okay, you buy eggs, it's like 3 times the price as when Trump was in office. Yet Joe Rogan, back during the election times, he would always talk shit about Trump, but look who he wanted his listeners to vote for. Bernie. Why did he pick Bernie? Because he can't say Trump because the Matrix doesn't like Trump. They told him to not advocate for Trump. But then he can't say Biden either, because then he'll lose a lot of the free-thinking young military-age males who have a mind of their own and know that Biden's the fucking worst president that there's ever been. Okay? So what does he do? He finds the middle ground. He says, Bernie. A man that he knows has no chance to win. In a way, he's taken away votes from Trump to give to Bernie, and Bernie's still not going to win. Right? And that's pretty much what he was doing with all that. And I'll tell you why he doesn't like Bernie and why maybe he likes Bernie, but I'll tell you why he doesn't believe that Bernie would have been a good president. Because the man moved from California to Texas to avoid state income tax. Joe Rogan, okay? He lived in California. He stated on his podcast that he moved to Texas to not pay income tax, state income tax. Bernie was proposing for people making $1 to $4 million, which is what you guys are all going to do one day. I have faith. 1 to 4 and more. $1 to $4 million is 45% income tax rate. This is Bernie's proposal. $4 to $20 million was going to be 50. 20 million and above to billions was going to be 52%. Now, are you telling me a man like Joe Rogan, who moved from California to Texas to avoid paying income tax, state income tax, wants to pay 52% income tax under Bernie's plan? Because he's worth way over $20 million. So he's going to give over $10 million to the government when he moved from California to Texas? He lied to his subscribers. He lied to his listeners. He's a tool of the Matrix. Let me give you a second of an example. Recently, he's talking about Andrew Tate with, what's his name? The Barstool Sports guy, another simp. Dumb fuck. That guy's even stupider than Joe Rogan. Well, Joe Rogan's not stupid. He's working, he's underemployed of the Matrix. The Barstool Sports guy is just an idiot, all right? So he calls Andrew Tate toxic masculinity. Oh, he's a guy who drives Lamborghini. And you could play his podcast on Joe Rogan when he talks about Andrew Tate. He talks about how Andrew Tate drives Lamborghinis and smokes cigars. He's toxic masculinity. Now, Mr. Little Joey, how the fuck is a man with no criminal record, well, except now when he was framed, but how is a man who has no criminal record, who's self-made, who drives Lamborghinis, who smokes cigars, a bad example for young men out there? Little Joey. How is that bad? Tool of the Matrix. Joe Rogan doesn't think it's bad. Joe Rogan's got a lot of nice cars. Joe Rogan lives in a mansion. And he's telling you that driving a Lamborghini is toxic. Okay? He's bullshit. He's a tool of the Matrix. That's all he is. And he's gotten his success because he has protection. And some people will argue with me and be like, well, he talks negatively about masks, and he talks, he says there shouldn't be closing down bars or closing down restaurants for COVID. Okay, when did he say these things? He definitely didn't say them in the beginning. He said them later. Okay? He said them later whenever all the young military-age males were angry, losing their businesses, losing money, not being able to meet women because they're under fucking isolation, all right, quarantined, and all the men were about to revolt. And that's when he spoke up, kept you calm, which is what his point is. He can't go totally left because then he'll lose the free-thinking young military-age males who he's supposed to control. He can't go way right because the Matrix isn't way right. So what does he do? After, he didn't say one word about the mask. He didn't say one word about anything, closures, anything. Not until shit was about to hit the fan, when everybody was sick of it, and he joined the bandwagon to keep you calm. Don't trust this fucking guy, man. This is a guy who's telling you to vote for Bernie for a 52% tax rate when he moved from California to Texas to avoid taxes. Then he tells you Andrew Tate is toxic masculinity, whatever, and then he says, oh, if he's guilty, when he knows definitely 100% that he is not guilty. He knows that. He's not a stupid man. He's a multimillionaire. He knows he knows it's a setup, but he can't say it. And then why would he tell young men driving Lamborghinis with a bunch of women with a cigar is bad? Because the Matrix doesn't want a bunch of young military-age males driving Lamborghinis with a cigar and a bunch of women, bro. That's why. When he's in a mansion and he's got his nice cars. And I'm happy for him. I'm not hating. I'm just saying, when I have those nice things, I don't tell other men that it's bad. I help them achieve that. So a man who tells you to vote for Bernie, but he moves his home to avoid taxes. A man who's telling you a young man driving Lamborghinis is toxic masculinity. And a man who can't be honest and say that this shit is a hoax, that a man like Andrew Tate doesn't need to, it doesn't need to be Andrew Tate. Any man of his status, any high-value man, doesn't need to keep two ugly fucking women, 6s and 7s, if you look at them, okay, on Vice, to keep them to do OnlyFans. You don't think he could get 100 women that are willing to do OnlyFans with him, live in his mansion, and be in his nice cars? Little Joey knows this. Joe Rogan's new name, Little Joey. Little Joey knows this. He's lying to you. Because I know a particular person, I'm not going to say the name, who is a very big fan of Joe Rogan. This person believes everything that we talk about on this podcast. He believes everything we're saying. But since he's been listening to Little Joey, he's taken it down a notch. Because he feels he has an outlet. He feels when Little Joey tells him masks are bad, that's good enough for this person. He doesn't need to think about having a Lamborghini. He doesn't need to think about, getting more women, freeing himself from the matrix, because little Joey is giving him an outlet and keeping him tamed, which is what little Joey Rogan's point is. He's here to keep you tamed. Don't fall for that shit. Again, I like the guy, but I don't believe him anymore. And for the reasons I just stated. A man telling me to vote for Bernie when he's moving states to avoid taxes. How am I going to trust this motherfucker? All right, this is Vinny Two Shoes. Tough Love with Vinny Two Shoes podcast. Press that subscribe button. Press that like button. I'm going to get a lot of hate for this shit once this shit blows up. My podcast blows up, and I'll do it for you. I don't mind. If I could just help fucking 10 young men out there to better themselves and to not fall for the bullshit that they try to brainwash you with, I'm a happy man. In return, press that subscribe button, press that like button so I can be compensated for the trouble I'm going to face. And let's be real, I get a lot of pussy everywhere, but in liberal cities, it's definitely going to be a little bit more difficult now. With a bunch of feminists laying around. I won't have a problem overseas or in Nevada or Texas or Florida, but LA, New York, something like that, it's going to be a bit more difficult. I'll lose pussy for you, but press that subscribe button, press that like button. Also follow me on Rumble in case we get canceled. All right? Thank you.